If it's a meltdown, it must be Monday. Well, Donald Trump, he sure had a busy weekend, as you're about to see. It was full of hope for revenge, dreams of institutional violence, and the promise of persecution for his many enemies. And in today's stunningly significant video, you're about to see in just a second coming up, the political coffee klatch over there on Morning Joe at MSNBC, well, once again, they had to walk the line between giving this guy oxygen for his inexhaustible hate or exposing his evil so no one misses a beat of his evolving madness. Now, as much as every one of us is tired of Trump's trash talking and the habitual collective eye-rolling that always follows, there are only a few weeks left in this election. And right now, it's more important than ever to just look into this horrible man's eyes and tell your friends, share this video, better yet, because really the single greatest threat to the soul of this nation, well, he's on a never-before-witnessed rabid, revenge-mad run, ranting in the throes of his political death. And, as you're about to see, that's where cornered, desperate animals are always at their most dangerous.
And make America wealthy again. Make America healthy again. Make America strong again. Make America proud again. Make America safe again. And we will make America great again. We are going to make it greater than ever before.
So here's the latest rundown, breakdown from earlier today on Morning Joe about Trump's sweaty freakend weekend and the party that may finally begin to turn on their increasingly feeble figurehead. Could it happen? Well, let's check it out.
With just about 5 weeks to go until the November election, 5 weeks, former President Donald Trump spent the weekend campaigning in several key battleground states and used extreme and dark rhetoric to attack his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris.
He really is.
Double down,
we're watching
if it's possible.
Well, I think it's a meltdown. I don't even think you call it double down. When well, I'll let you say what we can play the clips, but again, even Republicans are attacking him, and as Jonathan Lemire said, quietly, they're getting really worried right now.
So he reiterated his pledge to go after people who cheat in the election. He said one violent day of policing will end crime in America, and continued to push misinformation about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, in addition to some very odd tangents, I guess more of the weave. Take a look.
Kamala is mentally impaired. If a Republican did what she did, if a Republican did what she did, that Republican would be impeached and removed from office, and rightfully so, for high crimes and misdemeanors. Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way. She was born that way. And if you think about it, only a mentally disabled person could have allowed this to happen to our country. Anybody would know this. There's something wrong with Kamala, and I just don't know what it is, but there is definitely something missing. And you know what? Everybody knows it. She's a stupid person. Stupid person. I don't care. I don't care. If they didn't cheat, I wouldn't even be here today. You know why? I wouldn't have to campaign. I'm here only because they cheat. And they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia. And I'll mention a couple of the areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control, because if there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so damn much. If we win and when we win, we're going to prosecute people that cheat on this election. And if we can, we'll go back to the last one, too, if we're allowed. But we're going to prosecute people, so at least they know that's going to happen. You know, these are smart people. They're not so stupid, but they have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here, he's a great congressman. Would you say, Mike, that if you were in charge, you would say, oh, please, don't touch them, don't touch them. Let them rob your store. Let all these stores go out of business, right? They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have money. It's a chain of events that's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. End immediately. You know, it'll end immediately. The majority of the school cannot speak English. In Ohio, Springfield, they can't speak English. They're taking over the schools. There's nobody that can speak English. And the mayor's looking for interpreters. Isn't that wonderful? How can this happen? Remember, there's a hat that's made that sells like crazy. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. See, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had a fly up here. You're changing rapidly, but we can't take it any longer.
2 years ago, I would not have had a fly up here, but things are changing rapidly. I mean, Republicans obviously are concerned about this for good reason. They're talking about how he's doubling down. And of course, they usually whisper. They usually whisper these things. I wrote some of these notes down. She's mentally impaired, he says, to the crowd's applause. Nice crowd. She's mentally disabled, he says, to crowd's applause. Nice crowd. She's a, quote, stupid person. This actually... John Heilman, this has actually got Republicans doing something Republicans never do. New York Times shows Republicans are actually being critical of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And Republicans fault Trump over insults to his rival. Friend of the national section of the New York Times. This is Larry Hogan, who's running for Senate. I think that's insulting not only to the vice president, but to people that actually do have mental disabilities. I've said for years that Trump's divisive rhetoric is something that we can do without. Lindsey Graham also critical of Donald Trump's statements this weekend. Representative Tom Emmer, a Minnesota Republican who is helping J.D. Vance for the upcoming debate, tried to distance himself. He said, I think we should stick to the issues. And yet here he goes. And, John, the question answers itself, I guess. If she were so, quote, stupid, if she were so, quote, mentally impaired, if she were, quote, so mentally disabled, why did she destroy him in a debate for 90 minutes, humiliate him, and beat him so badly that he refuses to even debate her on Fox News? That's question number one. And if she's had this mental condition from birth, then why did he gave her thousands of dollars in 2014 for her political campaign when she was running for the United States Senate?
Any sane person knows the answer to that, right? Now, as his hangers-on drop off one by one, Trump represents a gut-wrenching political movement that we can only pray will be flushed down his golden toilet of failure on November 5th. Ugh, must have been something I voted for.